We are on. Okay then, guys. So, wow, 11:12, not 11:11, 11:12. 22nd of April. I've been speaking in personal messages on Facebook Messenger to Alfie's dad Thomas and a friend of the family Connie, and then to Charlotte as well. So I've said everything that I can say. I'm not an expert on this, and I haven't promised to help and fix anything. All I've said is that we've been made privy that issues are at hand with regards to officers or constables being present outside the room, and I understand that the life support machine, or we understand that the life support machine gets turned off tomorrow. I asked what measures have been taken. Is it right that the High Courts have been involved? You've gone to see the Pope, and then you know, we've got involved. So I've done everything I can with regards to all the messaging. I've given them some information and said, you know, if you don't act in the private, the key here is to property and titles to property, a load of titles to property, and acting in the private. So I said, respect for going to see the big man at the Vatican. I said, this is to do with the CQV trust, being the settlor beneficiary trustee, operating in the public under public statutory constructed trusts, and certain things, you know, going to a court in the wrong capacity with the wrong status won't get you very far. So I said, I appreciate there's an awful lot of information for you to take on. Can you call me? And he says he's in the hospital and he wanted to chat with messaging. So so yeah, 11:10. I'll give it till 12 o'clock for the man to read my messages. You know, I'll wait up until I actually see them read. I don't think I'll be able to sleep now. I feel a little bit sick, to be honest, because we all like to try and help, but when you know that there's a little baby in the wings here, and the life support's getting turned off tomorrow, and there's officers outside the door, and if you feel like this and you all feel a bit concerned, then I can't imagine how they feel, and to lose you know, a life like that for these reasons of healthy young you know, child, offspring, you know, young soul went in, had some injections, I hear, and things have gone downhill after injections, inoculations, and it may well be some kind of a cover-up's going on here as well. So we know what happens when folk make mistakes, or they don't want information to come out, or you know, I'm not sure as to everything there. You guys can comment and put what you know, first-hand knowledge please, though, no speculation. We only deal with first-hand knowledge and facts. So I've done everything, you've done everything you can, do you know what I mean? And somebody's given them some common law insight information. So common law information is not bad information. We support common law, we use common law. Common law is nothing wrong with it, but it's at a public level. When you're operating at a public level, then you understand that you're subject to public statutory mandated codes and certain things. When you operate in the private as the settlor, and you compel and invoke equity, and you perhaps make express trustees and certain things, you know, you could have done that in a high court, but if you don't know you've got the power and the status and capacity to do that, and you went in claiming the name with a representative, then you're viewed as a child in the eyes of the court, and you've not handled your property and case and claim very well. So yeah, I had a barrister and I did the same, to be fair, so I'm no expert. This is why we're here now doing this, because it's a joke, and I argued for my access to my property. It wasn't the life hanging in the realms. It was just, I said I want to see my kids, and the mum said no. So we ended up going to court and going down the road of barristers and 2 years and thousands of pounds. So just to get a court writ, it's a pompous, corrupt affair which commits bar crimes, the crimes committed by the bar, arbitrary and personage amongst others. So if you don't know about equity and you don't know about trust, then you can't learn that overnight. You can't let this guy, you know, pick that up overnight. So you've got to appreciate we're in a massively hard position here. I'm not promising anything, but we will make guys privy to it, because I'm thinking this man might make a last stand, or he will try anything, you know, to protect the property of your offspring, property, to protect the life of your, you know, your flesh and blood, man. Your blood, it's your blood. We'll just call it your blood. To protect your blood, you'll do anything. And I've told him to ask, are these guards, or are these officers, or are they constables? What are they? Are they actually wearing lapellets, you know, and have they got insignia on, and have they got warrant cards and certain things? Are they under the oath of office? I've told him to ask them. If the constables and they're under the oath of office, then he's got half of a chance, hasn't he? If they're offered, and that's only half because of how we're at and what's been ordered by the courts and certain things like that, and there may well be a court writ there with an actual signature on, do you know what I mean? We're not doubting that this time it isn't a real writ, but it's the way that it needs to be overturned like an emergency. You know, I can't even think of the words, my mind's just spinning. We need a lot of backup. It's Sunday night, it's 11:20, there's nobody about. Wow, yeah, so who is in the house anyway? John, Sherry, Charlotte. Yeah, well done, Charlotte, for rallying round and getting everybody informed and getting everybody to communicate. What we need is Thomas to pick up my messages, to cognise everything. I've sent him Meet Your Straw Man just to make it easy, because I waffle. This is the time not to waffle. And I said some bits, not massive messages, and I summarised it. And I said the public, private, and as I've just explained it here. And I said, watch this Meet Your Straw Man. This isn't what I'm promoting. This is just to help you understand the government saying hello to your child at the General Register Office, aka the bondsman, when they bond and they say hello and they go and they claim a bit and they give you the legal title and they take the allodial. It's all about the allodial title. As a settlor, you can claim that allodial title. I mentioned about the notice of understanding, intent and claim of right that both the mum and the dad can do as settlors. So, God Lord, this is just intense, to be honest, and it's the world we live in, you know. This is why we watch, or guys I used to watch, and guys out there watch soaps and dramas and films and read books, because when you pick up the actual real world, you know, the actual real news, real life stuff, it's just harrowing story after harrowing story, isn't it? And it takes a bit of strength to constantly deal with this and to focus on it. So I appreciate that I've got through all my notifications. I've answered loads of questions and emails and messages. We're up to date. I'll be in the office tomorrow once I get back from Oxford. Yeah, I need to just keep an eye on this now, and we'll just play it by ear. So yeah, I'm gonna have a chill out now, and I just wanted to update you all and see what you're saying. Charlotte, Rebecca, Albert, John. Albert, case is now with European Court of Human Rights, but they will respond in time. A few of us have emailed them. Yeah, I went on the petition and did a petition as well, and signed up for that just so I could post it. Not because I promote petitions, they're no good, they don't get listened to, they're subject to approval, and petitions can be ignored, you know, rejected and stuff, but your lawful objection, your lawful rejection cannot be. So when you reject and you do it lawfully, yeah, human rights though, they have a bit of sway, as we've seen with regards to certain other issues, that the human rights articles, no man shall be imprisoned for money, you know, blah blah blah, article 911. Yes, machine is said to be turned off tomorrow and have planned to further sedate while doing so. Let go easy. It's corporate manslaughter is what you call it. The NHS is a trust. The trust is a primary service care provider. So that primary service care provider is run under the health minister. The health minister is the guy that I've been emailing for another one of our beneficiaries by the name of Steve Barclay. Steve Barclay, if you do a DuckDuckGo search now, you will see that they've paid out £2 million for suicides and 450 deaths in the trust. I've been apologised for. So if you do a DuckDuckGo search on Steve Barclay apologises for deaths of trust, you will bring up the story from March 17, roughly, March 18 this year, and he's been in the ITV. It was on an ITV report, I think I pulled it up from, and he apologised for that. So these guys are, you know, dropping bollocks left, right and centre. So you got to understand it's your property that you've given the title away to, but because they're under 7, there is a chance of the reclamation and the rescinding of it all. I'm not saying it would work, but it's to do with your property. So if you stand there as the settlor and argue equitable maxims and terms against common law, I've explained that when there's a common law remedy and there's an equitable remedy, the equitable remedy will be applied over the common law one. So again, it's down to jurisdictions and consent, and they have given a lot of consent incorrectly. So you can, at some late stages, get first-hand knowledge and still address this. But I'm no expert in all of this, and I'm immensely tired, and we need some backup on here, because if he does ring this phone, of which I've given the number to, then I will answer it, and there's going to be a man on the end of this phone that wants to save his child, and if I haven't got the answer for him to do that, then that's going to scar me for life. I'll let you know now. That will actually, and that's not me losing a child, that's me just, it will scar me, it will give me mental fracturing about the establishment. And this child is born on the 9th of May. And I've sent him a message saying every day when I have a birthday, if this doesn't get sorted out, then when my birthday arrives, I will remember Alfie every birthday and think, you know, that's not, you know, that's nothing to him. That's just the way my mind works. I won't be able to forget that. And every time my birthday comes around, I'll be thinking, here, turn that machine off. And then it's just, you know, these are the things we care. We get emotionally attached, but you can't get emotionally attached when you're speaking legal, because the legal is cutthroat and it'll have you like that. So you need to separate, and that's what the art of the game is. When they bang the gavel and they're like, order, contempt, iron, they want you to lose your train of thought. They want you to start uttering. They want you to start losing that mental thought, which is why I go on such a tangent sometimes, because I'm training my brain. I like to speak a bit just to keep that fluid, that continuity, the dexterity of the mental, you know, kung fu that you've got there, the mental, you know, judo that you've got as defense, verbal, vocabulary, defense, where every word is chosen for its meaning, its definition, its implied definition, its jurisdiction, never be using legalese, obviously Anglo, and stuff like that. But when you need to make a express trustee out of somebody in a capacity or a fiduciary capacity, you've got to be able to stand there, look them in the eye, confidently say, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what you're going to do. Now, if you're going to try to disclaim them duties, then let me be hearing the reasons why, because when you do disclaim them, I'll be counter against them, you know, because you're currently, you know, acting as such now, so you ought to be doing what you should be doing when you're corrected to do so. So yeah, you must understand that you need to not be aggressive or vexatious, but this system doesn't have emotion, and when you get emotionally involved, it just sees that and uses it against you. So it's something where you need to detach yourself, and that's not a nice thing to say, really, but that's how we do it. That's how I do it. I take the emotional bit and take it out. I couldn't do it for my own children when I was doing it for my property, you know, and went to the high courts, but you do have to do that. Lee Lavery, good evening, brother. It's been a long time, worthy of a virtual fist bump. Albert, respect. We cannot save everybody. No, we can't. But the John Middleton, what would you recommend here then? I saw your comments earlier, and Dean Youssef has dropped in as well. Sherry, easy now, John. Thank you for earlier. That backup and support in that chat thread was well noticed. Respect. You cowboy, yippee-ki-yay, is what he said, didn't he, before the whole shithouse went up in flames, John? Cowboys, yeah. Pistols at dawn, remember them lot? Cowboys, what did they do to get caught? What did the state do, John, to get the cowboys in? What they did, they sent out a posse, didn't they? Because the cowboys were out of the jurisdiction of the state. So for the state to get the cowboys, they had to send out a posse, didn't they, John? Posse went out, rounded up them there cowboys and brought them back, didn't they? Dead or alive, reward, posse, bring them back, and the state dealt with them. So yeah, I am a cowboy, I'm an outlaw, that's exactly right. I'll take that. Thank you, John. You send your posse and see if you can find me, brother. Blue Tehran, chipping out hydrogen. Matthew, easy, brother, you've dropped in. Attachment is the biggest thing to let go of, David. Not saying what they're doing is right, but this time it might be too late. Yeah, I know, it's a last minute thing, isn't it? It just shows you, though, we will try. We say we're a common unity, we're a family, and, you know, we will do that. It's not anything that I've set out to do. It's something gets brought to us, and no matter what late stage, at no point can you ever say no. You know, miracles do happen, and I'm not saying that in a Christian way. I'm just saying that in a way that shit does happen. It's insane and crazy. The stuff we go on about, when I tell people and when you're learning it, it's often the fiction that's easier to believe than the truth. And they come to you with fiction and you're like, what's all that you've heard? You've heard what? What? Go on. All right, yeah, and what? Yeah, okay. Oh, and there's more. Okay, yeah. Well, that sounds brilliant, but let me just tell you what we think, and then we tell you how we see it, and they're like, huh? And it's just like, you know, you couldn't make this up, is what I'm telling you. There's certain things you just could not make up. So this is the spirit, this is how we are. We realise it's a late stage, and obviously look at the, if you was the mum and dad, the only late stage is when that switch has been turned off. That's when you're too late. Up until that switch getting turned off, and whomever is going to come in and disconnect it, then that's when it's too late in all of reality. Until that point, it's never too late. Do you know what I mean? Up to the last second, there's a chance of something, you know. So yes, John, you like that, do you, brother? Cowboys. No rusty sheriff's badges round here, though. One love, brother, one love. But yeah, it's all about one love, and it's about trying, you know. I said to Anne-Marie tonight, I'm sorry, I should be sat with you relaxing and not working, but this is a little boy, and he's got my birthday, and he's going to be maybe not breathing tomorrow, and you know, this is something I need to take a bit more time over. So then I wasn't sat down chilling with Anne-Marie and whatever, and I was doing this, and I just says, look, this is probably a test or something, I don't know, we just got to do it anyway, because it seems very, very remote that you could actually, and I said that to the dad as well, I says it's a remote long shot, but you've clearly been advised by somebody with common law knowledge. If someone's advised you with common law knowledge, have they advised you about the public and the private and the rights and the allodial title? I says, you may be privy to the canon laws now. I'd be interested to see what Francis said to you, and how you know, questions about that. I says, initially, ideally, we would need a 10-20 minute chat rather than messaging. So I've just condensed a few key points down in messages and sent him that, and then just sent it to somebody called Charlotte, and somebody else, yeah, Connie, and Connie's a friend of the family. And I appreciate mans must be getting lots of messages now, and reporters and that trying to get in touch, and everybody else. So we've done our bit. SPLs, one love, respect, peace and love. You've done everything you can. You know, knowledge is power. And I have tried to do, I've thought basic now, you know what I mean? I've gone right back to the basics and thought, what is it here? What's going on? Property, titles, ownership, consent, officers outside, corporate manslaughter, you know, things like this now. So we could look at the paperwork and ask them about to see the paperwork and who signed what order. Someone's given an order somewhere. When someone gives you an order, what happens at a restaurant when you give an order and you're finished at the end of the evening? Man comes for his bill, doesn't he? Because you're giving him orders all night, and he's been so gracious to feed you. You know, even at McDonald's, when you give an order, they'll still give you a bill. In the Congress, when they give orders in Congress, they give out bills. Houses of Parliament, they give orders, they get bills for it. Man gets an order, he gets a bill for it. You know, but I'm not saying that you bill someone for little Alfie's life. What I'm saying is there's a procedure and a way of doing it, and we need to check and validate that. And if it's been to a high court, you know, they do this all the time under medical grounds as guardianship or with appointeeship or with consent, I'm not sure. And well, you're rightly so, the comments that were made about registration and the when I said about it's been to the GRO or Simon Dawson said it's game over because of the GRO and the registration and stuff, but CQV 7 years, you know, to claim. Baby Alfie's not even won yet, so therefore he's well within the claimability time. You know what I mean? That's why I said there is something to be said here. So respect to Dawson for that, Simon, sorry, for them comments and that. No disrespect, it's just general chat, and when someone's life's involved, you have an articulate chat, don't you? It's not, egos get put to one side, I'm afraid, boys. We just talk basic law, principle, fact, first hand reference, citation, law, you know, and things, you know, and then compare. So it's good to do that because that's how things are solved. So don't ever get upset about if I come along or someone comes along and goes bang, bish, bash, bosh. Matt Riggs, same as to you, yeah, I've had a look at some comments and that. I don't really think there was anything malicious there. We don't have malicious admins, none of our team, none of the family that govern it and monitor it that are actually effectively trustees are in any way malicious, hostile, aggressive, short-tempered. They are there because of the way of their character, of their ethics and of their morality. So I will reassure you, Matt, and anybody else that's got any doubts that the workings and the inner workings and the cognition of the family and the authority and the jurisdiction and the consent and the overall running and management, you know, and moderation and mediation is done ultimately via myself and these guys, and there's nothing you can say bad about them, really. They do make mistakes, they're not perfect, and they may misquote and not be grammatically whatever, but what comes out of here, I will put my every record, every vinyl record I own phone, which is a lot, and I love them, on this saying that if they are the ones to do the job. I bet my vinyl collection, of which I treasure, that they are the best admins that man could find to do this job. So that's why they're there, and I trust them with my life. And I trust them with the information to give out, and you trust them, and that's what they're there to do. Dean Greenway's give out some brilliant information today. I've seen Craig's give out some brilliant information, and John's doing some amazing posts at the minute, so they could see that's brilliant at the minute, John. I've got to be let them in a little bit at a time, because I saw 48 queued up. So respect to them for his posts, and we will let them in, but sometimes they don't take up the full page, you know what I mean? So Canelo, let's go to some content. Yeah, let's go down here. Yeah, stand alone. God bless you, Brother David. God bless you, Brother Stan. How are we doing? We've all got time for little ones, haven't we? And sacred contract called into place to put this into effect. I am due down in Oxford tomorrow at dinner time, but I'm active. I can imagine if you get coffee. John, canon law is still corporation, natural law, common, made up by force, still killing earth. Common canon law is still corporation. Yes, it's gospel, isn't it? It's made up by man. It's the Vatican. Shout out to Dean Lee Lavery. Yes, brother. Liam, yes. Ravon, Andy Smith is watching. Easy solved. Just picked up at the end. Been on 20 minutes, brother, talking about Alfie, what's been said, what's been done, what information I've made the dad privy to. I've had messages back from the dad. I spoke to Charlotte and McGill, a lass called Connie. I've explained about the officers at the door of the ward of the room, or the room itself, the hospital room. I've said, like, you know, to ask them questions, find out the status, capacity, oaths, are they under oath, what they're there. If they're officers, then it's pretty much game over, but still, you know, it's nice to know what you're dealing with there, and they've got it locked down. I've told the dad we think we've been made privy to information of which it may be a botched injection, and maybe some kind of liability that looks like it's trying to be covered up. So I said, I'm not saying that, that's what's been brought to me through various messages, and I'm obligated due to the membership and the ethos and ethics that we operate on to contact you and make contacts and show everyone I have, because I've had that's why I've got 148 notifications. I thought something's gone down. There has been a few things go down today, including my phone look, but yeah, I've tended to all of that now, and everything's tickety-boo. Yeah, wow, we will carry on working as a team and a family. I don't know what to say now other than I need Lado to get in touch. He's got to ring me ultimately, and then we'll take it from there, guys. But it is late, it is a Sunday, there isn't much backup, you know what I mean? We've got a lot to try and sort. This lad's got a lot of compromise, and I've got the feeling that he won't give up without a fight. And if it comes to the point where someone's got to go in and turn that switch off, I've got a feeling that Thomas might be getting we'll say some further media coverage by his outlay of his actions. He'll be held accountable for his actions. So even though we've made contact now and it might not come to the desired result, if that man needs some backup or support or information, then we'll be there to help him. I did say I would like to know who's advised about the common law rights. You look at his profile, you'll see that he's claimed a birth certificate under common law and been to a common law court. That's when alarm bells rang off in Dave's head. Went, oh, it's in the public then. You've done it in the public. Common law claim under public. Common law's great. Common law's good. When there's an equitable principle that will remedy, that will help give you the remedy, and it's above the common law one, we'll go for that. It will override it. It supersedes it. It's the one you want. So, yeah, whatever, guys. Just keep an eye on. Keep watching. Like I say, I need to be up early. I'll keep watching to see that Thomas, as soon as he's read my messages, if he wants to chat, then he can chat, and then I'm going to go to sleep, and then we'll leave his phone on. It's got 97% charge. It's online. He can ring that. If it rings, I'll answer, and I'll just say whatever, you know, 3, 4 o'clock. And Thomas Hogg may be tired tomorrow when I meet up with you. This is life. This is the sovereign way. This is the way. It's the set law. And as kings, honestly, guys, we'll do it together. Strength in numbers, solidarity. It's just, if we had this information from being at school and we was taught this, look how powerful we would be. Look how we'd be able to, you know, go to a court with the correct status and capacity and compel, instead of having representation, being viewed as a child and being told what to do and subject to the terms and conditions and the benefits and the privileges, you know, when really we should be standing there and not giving our rights away and going cap in hand asking. We should be going as king, set laws. It's a king's court. In the king's court, equity rules. That's the way it is. So if you don't understand and see that, and you use them as they want you to, then you will never get anywhere. It's not nice to say, and it is an aggressive, hostile, arbitrary system. We don't use them, but we can use them for such things as this, or you could have used it in a way of which to instruct and compel and get a better result than what was given, which is a court writ to say it can be turned off, I imagine. But I'm not privy to the first-hand facts and knowledge, but you can surmise so far what authority and jurisdiction they may claim and purport to have for it to be going this far. No chance, John. Police guard in the room. What with a baby? Metallic gold. Ominous. Yes, that's what I'm saying, John. There's loads of things that you can use to fix it. Silver water, colloidal silver water, monatomic gold. There's lots of little things you could try and get this, even if it was a neurological disorder. Man's looking at subatomic and quantum mechanics and particles and waveforms. I've never been to a university, you guys haven't. The things that you lot look at, subatomic, quantum, you know, what is it now, nanotech, particles and you know, it's just mental. It's the qualities, the things you can do to heal is not always given to you by the medicine, is it? By Western medicine and the you know, pharmaceutical outlets, because who are they, and who are they controlled and paid and funded for, and what are they actually to do? Common law won't bring in remedy. Yes, Sovereign. Charlotte, David, one word for you, and that's awesome. Thank you, Charlotte, but you're awesome yourself. You've done a bit of helping there. We're all awesome because you're on here watching, contributing. You'll be posting and sharing. If government's going to be putting a baby down because of the machine being turned off, then you know, the court writ is where the authorities are and how that was obtained, in what capacity and status. And even though it may be too late to save the life now, then there's harsh lessons to be learnt. And it's not that we could use this in any way for kind of positive promotion, but you would argue, you would pass this down. You know, I would argue that Thomas would then need to be made privy to the facts of how and when it was lost control, and how it was, you know, I want to know what Pope Francis has said to the man, how he flew out there and got an interview, an appointment with Pope Francis, and what these canons and things was talked about, and what the ruling and the laws it was said, because we're a Christian nation, if I'm not mistaken, and it's Her Majesty's governance that fundamentally guides and governs, and you know, the Parliament and everything else is HM, Her Majesty. So if it is Her Majesty's you know, divinity and empire, Commonwealth, then surely the Pope and the Christian, well, not the Pope, not the Christian, the Catholic, Roman Catholic, could have swayed somewhat against the Christian, you know, wishes, and said, you know, it's still against your faith. You know who I am. You know, we just celebrated your birthday and that, but can you not, like, be killing babies day after or two, you know? You think this is true? The body of a notorious paedophile has been found dumped on the doorstep of a British parliamentary building. The corpse of Alfred. What are you doing here? Random and dark. I was just about to say goodbye. They also reported by police politician. Appeared to be a tragic accident. It was only later realised that the Gog was a serial child abuser who was known to British authorities. So, not a coincidence, no. I don't even know if it's true. You've sidetracked there. Barney, easy. John, Ormond, he's sick. Charlotte, black seed oil is the #1 for all health issues. It is, but let's anyway just say good night. Ciao for now. It's Sunday night, so I do need to be up early tomorrow. As I wait for a call from Tony. If it doesn't come through, then I'm going to go to bed, and if it rings, I'll answer it. I'll leave it on loud, and we'll see what happens in the morning. Alright, guys. I'll be driving, and then we'll check in early morning before we get off. About 7. Ciao, bello. Peace and love. Good night. Fist bumps. Alright. Stay frosty.